We are back on the Hard Hustle podcast. This time we got Miss Shannon in the house. How you doing, ma'am?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, doing good. As I mentioned,
Good.
it's about to rain here, and it's always a good day when it rains. Though it's like I came from Arizona just earlier
Okay.
this week,
Yeah.
where they needed rain. Okay, it was so dry and hot. Shannon, where are you
Yeah.
located? For those that may be watching, listening.
I am in South Jersey, right outside of Philly. So, right outside the city of brotherly love. I'm in Cherry Hill.
Okay,
Yeah.
born and raised in Jersey.
Born and raised in Jersey. Yes. Went to college here. Didn't leave. Didn't stray too far. Proud Jersey girl.
What makes you stay?
There's a lot for a little state that is in Jersey, right? We can got beach, you can get to the city, you can get to the mountains. I mean, there's such a variety. If you can find something to do in Jersey, you're not looking hard enough because it's all right here. So I like being close. I have family still around here, so keeps me grounded.
Love it. Seems like you
Yeah,
enjoy being a Jersey girl.
I do. I do. Well, Jersey's got a little bit of a reputation to uphold those of us who are from the state. So, I'm proud to wear that badge.
My neighbor, I hear it every day, actually. He's from Jersey, moved here maybe 4 or 5 years ago. But he would always tell you, I'm Jersey all day, every day. Maybe I don't want to go back, but I'm
Yeah.
still Jersey.
Yeah. It's good to branch out and see what the rest of the world is doing for sure. But there's a comfort in the chaos and in the loud and in your face. There's a comfort there.
Love it.
Yeah.
How many times do you talk to someone that's not from Jersey and automatically thinks it's Jersey Shore, all the same thing?
Yeah, a lot of people. Also, people aren't from Jersey when they say New Jersey. So people from Jersey don't say new. And it's funny to me because when Jersey Shore came out, I don't know if any of them were actually from Jersey. They were from like New York and Connecticut and just fit kind of a stereotype. So, people from Jersey know that that's not the real thing.
That is too funny. That's too funny. Shannon, tell us the organization that you're representing today. And what is your
Yeah.
title with them?
Absolutely. So I am the executive director of First Draft Academy. And what we do is we're a literacy enrichment organization.
What brings you to an organization like this? Like, where did it all start for you?
Yes. So actually, my career started out in a completely different way. I actually worked in entertainment at a production company in New York City, and it was a small company, and we did a lot of development of TV, radio, theater, film, trying to come up with ideas to bring out to different networks. And I was 9 years in that company. And it was wonderful. And then I got pregnant with twins. And so I knew I had to kind of decide, what direction are we going to go in here? And best case scenario was, would I be able to find something that I could balance creatively, trying to be thoughtful about, where I'm going to spend my time when it's away from my family. And I was fortunate to find this organization, which at the time was called Right On Sports. And so I've been with Right On Sports and now First Draft Academy since 2013.
Wow. How your life changed when you got twins, huh?
Yes.
Well,
As
well,
I think kids do for everyone, but two
yeah.
at once was a big like, oh my goodness.
I know my wife would have told me that I might would have passed out. How was your life when you thought being pregnant is one thing, but being told now it's two? Your mind.
Think I was very thankful that it was my first pregnancy. I didn't know any better. So I
Got it.
didn't know what was coming. I didn't know what to expect. It was just a ride from the jump. Knowing what I knew, if twins had come second, I think it would have been a very different preparation for landing. But kind of went in a little just, I don't know what I don't know, so we're going to figure this out.
Yeah, go with the
and
flow.
we did. I was grateful I found a group of moms of multiples.
Love it.
In our community. And so that was nice.
Boy, girl, or?
Identical boys, actually.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Love it.
They were more identical when they were smaller. They're going into high school now, so less identical. But yeah, it's like my own little social science experiment over here. It's interesting to watch them grow and see twin behavior that, you hear about and things people talk about, like they have their own language. Yes, they did when they were little, not anymore.
Yeah.
But little mannerisms and things that I think are just part of their being. And I think it's all subconscious. They don't even realize it, but it's sweet.
I was just actually know a set of twins, and for their whole lives, they just talk about how when you seen one, you always ask about the other, and you thought they should be doing the same exact things, that they love the same exact things,
Sure.
and they always talk about, no, man, we're two individuals and doing completely separate things in life. Is that what your twins are?
Yeah, so my husband and I really wanted to foster a sense of independence for them. We split them up in school as soon as they went to kindergarten. They were in
Wow.
different classes. I had a friend who was an identical twin, and he had very similar name to his brother. So when I was pregnant, he was like, "Do not even give them the same initials. Like, make it different." I said, "Okay." So they have a lot of similar interests, but we've tried to really give them that space to explore. And you don't have to go to music just because your brother is, but they're like, no, we both like it. Okay, fine. To give them that opportunity. They happen to like a lot of similar things. I think now as they're getting into those teenage years, they're starting to see a little bit of, no, I'm going to stick with art, or I'm going to stick with science. So yeah, I think
That's
it's
so
good.
cool.
Just because they came at the same time doesn't mean, it's a BOGO for life. They can make their own way. Yeah.
I love it though. And you said this organization really just kind of stood out because it allowed you to be parents. And obviously there was something there that was fulfilling to you. What was that
Yes.
thing that was fulfilling? I mean, other than just giving you the time and space to also be a mom?
Sure. I think, again, as a new parent, and I think a lot of us, you aspire to want to find that balance. It's hard. It's really hard to find that, especially in this environment today. And my kids are, almost 14. So for the past, let's say, decade and a half. What First Draft Academy does is we focus on middle school kids. And really what we're doing is we're trying to bring them an opportunity to strengthen their writing skills, critical thinking, how to think outside the box, tap into an interest that they already have to make writing not be so scary. Also, to teach them that writing could be a path forward for a career. Just because you love sports, you may not be a number one draft pick. So, how else can you stay connected to something that you love? So, we really just want to hammer that home. And for kids that are like 11, 12, 13, they're in that weird space. They're not little kids, but they're
Yeah.
not really independent enough as you get into high school and higher education. So how do you make them feel that autonomy to make some decisions on their own while still giving them that guidance? And I think what I love about our teachers, they really allow that space, because in the summer there isn't the pressure of state testing and guidelines and things. They can just teach and focus on growth and inspiration. And I mean, it's lovely. It's lovely to be around that.
Who is that for you, Shannon? You talked about this was your thing before you were teaching it, you were living it. Who was that person that kind of poured into you?
Oh man, I was so fortunate. So I come from a family of teachers. My grandmother
Okay.
was a teacher, my mom was a teacher. I did not get the teaching gene, but I'm like teacher adjacent, right? So
You're
I
there. You're there.
recognize, yeah, I recognize the hard work and the passion that those individuals bring, because I think teachers are truly amazing. I mean, it is not an easy job, and it's not an easy job year in and year out. And so I find myself, if I can be an advocate for teachers, if I can be a support, if I can push forward the kind of learning environment that really makes an impact on a kid, I know what's going on in that classroom. So if we can do it outside of that classroom and kind of scaffold around that, I mean, what's better than that? That's great.
That's so cool. And how big is this organization for those that may not even be familiar with it?
Sure. So our home base is in New Jersey, and in the, uh-oh, did I lose you?
I'm here. I see
Oh,
you.
okay. My screen just dropped out. I'm so sorry. That was really odd. So we're based in North Jersey and kind of the northern counties, but we do have programming at Central Jersey. We prioritize college and universities for our summer program. We have a program in Indiana and also in Denver, Colorado.
Okay. So pretty big organization. This is not just Jersey based. You're really hitting it. How do you get the word out? How do people know about this organization?
We have a board that is really generous with their time. And so one of our board members is a former sports guru, Peter King. He recently retired, but for those of us that are my age, I'm in my 40s and older, may know Peter. He's like the expert of all things NFL. And so Peter really championed over the last 20 years, putting us in his column, getting the word out that this is what we're doing. And I'm a sports writer. This is how kids could get started. And from there, it was really organic. Folks would read about us in Peter's column. Somebody
Wow.
might whisper to them, a parent to some other, educator, and say, hey, they're doing some really interesting stuff over here. And so we try to grow in an organic way that makes sense. We want to really be thoughtful about where we're going. It could be something that you could put up like Starbucks. I don't know if we're allowed to say chain
Sure.
chain thing.
Why not?
You could blow this out and do it like Starbucks. But I think what makes our program really special and unique is that we meet students where they are. And that's not always able to be mass produced. You have to know your community. You have to know the kid that you're talking to, the group of kids that you're talking to. So I think taking a thoughtful approach and being in a community that needs us
Mhm.
makes more sense.
How many young kids are you guys serving on a yearly basis, you know?
A yearly basis, because we keep our ratio small of a 5-to-1 student teacher ratio, we're serving about 500 to 600 kids a year right now. But that's intentional. It may not sound intentional probably to funders, which is that's a whole other conversation. But it's intentional to us. We really, I think the national average for a student teacher ratio is somewhere around 15 or 16 to 1. And so we're trying to keep it at 5-to-1. Gives our
Got it.
teachers an opportunity to know these students and for the students to know the teacher. I think that's really
Yeah.
important too.
When we think about how communication, because that's what we're talking about, right? It's the
Yes.
communication piece has completely also changed. The landscape has
Yes.
changed. I mean, we started back when we were just listening to radio, and then we went to cassette players and CD
Yeah.
players, Shannon, and then we went to iPods,
Yes.
and now it's just as easy as a Spotify,
Yeah.
and it's curated to you because it knows what you like and all these different things. How are we communicating and changing that with our youth?
Yes. So one of the things we do is bringing in journalists, broadcasters, arts and culture writers, folks who are doing this on the day to day. And I can tell you in the last, 14 years that I've been with the organization, what we were talking about as far as how the communication style was to what we're doing this year, as you said, it's completely changed. A lot of what we hear from our broadcasters and journalists that come in is you're a one-man shop. You have to be able to write, you have to be able to take the picture, write the caption, do the synopsis, write the story, push it out. It's like self-advocating, right? So I think with the communication is we have kids who come in and they're really strong writers. They come because they love to write, but maybe they write too much. So now what we're telling them is how to make this a little more focused, help them edit. Edit's not a dirty word, right? Edit is okay. So and then on the other end, you've got the kid that maybe struggles with writing a couple sentences. And so trying to inspire that confidence. And so we're seeing kids on both ends. And I think it's all about being authentic in your communication, being mindful of who your audience is, because the way that you talk to one group is going to be different from another. So I think just trying to lay this out, our program runs in shorter spans of time, a 3-week program, a 1-day workshop. So we're not going to move the needle the way a classroom will. But if we can maybe move the needle on interest, I think that's the goal.
Got it. So the I would say the organization, the programs that you guys have is really just more almost aligned to the school year. Is that correct?
It's really year round now. I think we started as a complement to school year happens. What are you going to do in the summer? Oh, I could go to Right On Sports summer camp. And as we continue to talk to parents and teachers and school districts, as they are, talk about things changing, their summer programs, a lot of districts, at least in New Jersey, have really robust summer programs kind of
Mm.
in-house, right? Like in
Yeah,
their
yeah.
own school. So we have some programs of ours, like the Media Lab, which is one of my programs, that pushes in. So they'll say to us, hey, we want somebody to come in for an hour a day for 10 days and help the students. I don't know, what can you do? And so we built the media lab. So we come in for an hour a day, pick your own topic, anything you want to write about. And actually they will write out an outline and structure it and make a video. So that's one idea. During the summer is where we do the most projects, but then during the school year, we try to be a complement to bring in a workshop. Maybe it's a sports related. Let's go see a college basketball game. Let's write about it. Let's go see a play and
That's
write
cool.
about it.
Yeah.
So we try to be a year round thing without stepping on the toes of what's going on in school. Kids are busy. I mean, between
Yeah.
sports and clubs, I mean, kids are busy.
Yeah, I just spoke to my niece yesterday. It always reminds me that I'm old every time I see her and she's about to graduate. But I spoke to one. I'm like, how is school going? And the other one yells at me, it's not even school anymore. I'm like, that doesn't mean, I mean, that you're not doing something, right? It's
Right.
summertime.
Yes.
Then the other one responds, well, I should be at practice. I just haven't gone to practice. I'm like, okay, cool, playing sports. I said, what are you doing? And she says, I'm in like 12 clubs. I'm like,
Mm,
12? And she starts
wow.
naming all these clubs. And it's just really funny because they are, to them, they seem very busy in their own world. And I'm like, oh, you only wait. Okay. What you're doing is
Yes.
not.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But, that's what they call busy. I accept it. I love that they're actually doing something
Yeah.
versus nothing. And I really think that this is your passion and your purpose really mixing and colliding. Do you agree,
Yeah.
Shannon?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. What do you want to see? I mean, I can imagine that because this is your passion and your purpose, that there's more that you want to see within this organization. What is that for you? What is that goal? What is that thing that you're envisioning or really working towards?
Think we have really, not to like toot the own horn of my education director's name is Andy Butel, but over the years he's really constructed a curriculum that's very flexible. So it doesn't have to be a one size fit all. And what I would love to see as we keep going is how can we now collaborate with other community groups? I think still keeping with what we do as option one. But what can we do together? What do you need? We're really good at meeting our students where they are. So now I want to see, like, let's go find that community group. Maybe it's a boys and girls club, or maybe it's, big brothers, big sisters, or even a smaller club. It could just be like Essex County, whatever. What do you guys need? What are you looking for? How can we help? How can we work together? That's what
And
I'd
how
like
would you?
to see.
I guess how would we do that? I guess are we hitting them where we know they spend most of their time on that cell phone?
Yeah, the cell phone is it's a challenge, I think. It's funny. A lot of parents when the kids are coming to the summer, they're like, "Are they allowed to bring their phones?" We say, "Yeah, you can bring your phone until it's a distraction. You can have it. It's no problem." But I think I've tried to instill in my kids is your phone is more than just a communication device. Like going back to our journalist saying you're one man shop, it's a really powerful tool. It could be something to keep your time management. It is something that you can keep notes, for yourself, a to-do list. This is a way to keep track of where you need to be. Let's build some, responsibility and accountability. I think that's really important, especially going back to that middle school grade and stuff. I think, that's where you got it. We're raising adults, as my mom used to say. We're not raising
Yep,
kids.
true.
So I think, if we can, around the academic stuff, if we can also build in a little life skill in there, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt.
And with life skills, we're talking about the ability now to use AI to really help us
Yeah.
even and more efficient, I would say, in life. What is your thoughts on that around what we talked about, our future hosts, our future journalists, our future writers?
Yeah, AI, it's moving so fast. First of all, I think the AI development is probably one of the fastest tools I've seen in a really long time that is
Hmm.
is advancing everything. We definitely incorporate AI into our program as a tool. As like we have pen, paper, we have computers, we have Google, we have AI, right? So it can be something that can be very helpful. Maybe if, let's say, you're trying to think of a topic and you're having trouble narrowing it down, drop it in AI. I want to write a story about LeBron James that is unique and different. What are some ideas I could research? That's a great tool. I don't want AI to write your story, right? And I think, teachers are really good at identifying these stories that are generated by AI in school. So it's trying to I look at it as a calculator, right? I got to know how to do the math to put it into the calculator. Calculator just helps me get there quicker, but I got to know how to do the math. And I think AI, when it comes to writing, can be a very similar companion piece. It might help you if you're in a writer's block. Maybe it helps you kind of be a little more focused, how you spell check or whatever. But I think really remembering that authenticity is a priceless commodity when it comes to writing, when it comes to communication. You have to be authentic. It has to be your voice.
I love it. I also laughed when you say calculator because I was at Office Depot the other day and thought to myself, yeah, remember when we all needed to have one of these
Oh,
and they were super expensive to
so
get? This
expensive. Yeah, the scientific that could like graph and it was like $100 and you're like, what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
now they're $20. We don't need them anymore. Like
No.
how times have truly changed.
Yeah, because it's on your phone, right? That's the
Yeah,
other thing, right? So again, it's like it's all in your pocket, but let's be mindful about how we use it.
yeah, no, 100%. I love that
Yeah.
you said that about AI. It is truly a tool. I'm actually very surprised. We have one of the largest districts, here in Orange County where I stay. And when I go to the school and I speak to these teachers, like, hey, are you guys using ChatGPT? Because I realize that they do this long work that in reality could be,
Yeah.
uh, you know, easier, but it's blocked out in the schools. The things that you hear is
Well,
that teachers are afraid of it. They're still not educated enough.
yeah.
But I'm like, well, what a disservice I think to our young ones because they're going to use it, but we
Yes.
have to show them how to use it.
Yes.
You kind of mentioned all the
Absolutely.
right ways to use it, and I love the ways you talked about it because when I think about, I think I told you I do a lot of wrestling content.
Yes.
So there was a time when I first started that you can see a lot of it was like scripted, like I literally had a writer and he would like write for me,
Yes.
and over time, I realized that I just needed the key points. Like I didn't need it written
Right.
out because
Yes.
it didn't sound like me. So I found myself anyway going back. It's like I don't say that word. Like
Yes.
that's not a word I'm going to use, right? And then you
Yes.
got to go back
Yes.
and change it. So
Yeah.
it is something that use, and the more that you use it, the better you become with it.
Yeah.
And as you always mention, just always stay true to yourself
Yes.
because your voice is what really resonates with people,
Correct.
right?
And I think that's the thing that will keep people interested in what you have to say, right? If you sound like a canned response, we all know these canned responses. We all see those kind of boring, no energy things that are out there. And that's fine, depending on circumstance. But when you're talking about your story that you're trying to put out there, it's got to be you. It's got to sound
Yeah.
like you. Yeah.
Got to be you.
Yeah.
I love it. How could people get involved with what you guys are doing, your mission, the organization, volunteering, donors, whatever that may look like?
Yes, we D all of the above. We're looking for all the things. So our website is firstdraftacademy.org. And through there, you can read student work, which I think is wonderful. As a writer, we tell our kids you need to have an audience. So they always get a copy of their work, but we put a digital up there so they could share it out.
That's so cool.
So check out our students' work. We're really proud of what they're doing. Volunteers, yeah, we're always looking for people with skill sets that not necessarily teachers, right? So we pay our teachers. I think that's important. Teachers deserve to be paid. But
Hmm.
we would love folks with other skill sets, grant writers, marketing folks, people who are really good at events, putting together fundraising ideas. Those are really valuable, especially for a smaller nonprofit like us. We have a small team who are all passionate and who all care a lot about driving forward and making sure that, we are getting the word out there, but small but mighty. So I
Yeah.
would definitely say check out our website. There's a contact us form on there, or you could always email me, Shannon@firstdraft.org. No problem.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, Shannon, I thank you for your time. I thank you for all the insights you were able to provide for us
Yeah.
in not just Jersey, but in other various places of the United States.
Yes.
I think it is a skill that we should all have, to be quite frank. It's nothing better than doing this, and I'm kind of self-taught, I would say, but I've
Okay.
always was that great writer. I
Yeah.
loved it, I enjoyed it, and I felt I only got better by doing. So if
Yes.
someone is
Yes.
is asking themselves, well, how do I get better? And I don't have these resources, Shannon, can you leave us just with maybe some tips and tricks? Because this is your space.
Yes, I think no, thank you for that. That's a great question. And I think it's practice makes perfect. Just like if you want to hit that 3 point, you got to get out there and just take 100 shots. I think find something you want to write about. So maybe you love music. Maybe just decide I'm going to be my own music reviewer and listen to 5 songs a day and just write down what you think about it. What's your feeling when you listen to that song? What do you like that artist? Do you even know who that artist is? Maybe it's someone new. I really think if you first thing is finding that connection of something that you're interested in, because I know I don't want to write about something that makes no impact on my life. So find something you're interested in and just a few sentences every day. And those sentences will grow, but it's getting into that habit of just taking a few minutes, writing it down. You could even put it in your notes app in your phone if you want.
I appreciate it. That is Shannon from First Draft Academy. I'm Efrain with the Heart and Hustle podcast. If you are still watching, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one. Latest.